So, are there any new major roles coming up for you soon, or is it still just going to be Paimon? I know you're not voicing Paimon at the moment, but is there any new roles that you have coming up?
Correct. After Jacob was replaced, I sent notice to Hoyo saying that I would no longer voice Paimon until they became union, so they'll probably just replace me. But
Hey everyone, Sean here, and welcome to another video on this Hawke Talks. I just thought it'd be natural to follow this up regarding to the situation with the voice acting stuff and Genshin and pretty much like all the other Hoyo first stuff. This is also pertaining to, of course, the SAG-AFTRA strike. That's has an emphasis on the voice acting. You know, with the initial premise of fighting for AI protection and other such things. So naturally, people like me sided with the voice actors and such because, yes, AI is kind of a threat to the art of acting, including voice acting. And of course, the AI has been very much tainting the waters of artists, visual artists, including, fan art. It just has been very, very abrasive towards that sort of stuff that I have enjoyed throughout the years as someone who did draw a lot in the past as well. So I have that sort of compassion and understanding of what is art, essentially. What's the essence of it? So naturally, of course, someone like me would be siding with the voice actors on this. But after learning what's been really going on, I went 180, and a lot of people went through that sort of situation as well, man. Like, especially with how much damage they've done, including the White Knights of this whole situation, including the voice actress for Paimon. It's been crazy of how these things are possible, where how much, like, the damage, the amount of damage is just unfathomable. How do you make people go from supporting you to absolutely just berating you in a matter of months in that sort of fashion? It's just so, like, confusing of how it could happen. How do you really screw that up, really? And you would have to be a blatant liar. And I guess that's what Karina was, right? She lied. She also invited harassment on a number of voice actors, including Jacob Takanashi, who replaced the previous actor who played Kenichi in Genshin. She was very unwelcoming, along with others. And on top of that, she has lied. She has gaslit. She has been a hypocrite. And just straight up being unprofessional, unhinged. Her behavior was just not welcoming, and I found it just horrible, just terrible for as someone who's supposed to be an influence to others, right? Like, you're like, and of course, Karina is voicing a very important character, so of course the spotlight will be on her in that sort of matter, right? Especially with the amount of dialogue and stuff like that. But this person has been known to act like this for a long time, but now it's like becoming very, very publicized up to this point, which is why now it's becoming like very much common knowledge and something that has been undermined for those who have been playing these games for a good while, including myself. Though, yes, I mean, just to make things clear, I listen to play the game in Japanese, but I do watch the streams in English, and then I like to make comparisons with English voices, Japanese voices, and sometimes Chinese, and I believe Korean was the other voice that's offered, at least in Genshin anyway. In any case, with this whole situation kind of subsiding, it seems like when it comes to Hoyoverse, the Hoyoverse sort of scope or angle, of course the strike itself is still going, so that's a bit of a different story. But when it comes to the Hoyoverse side of things, I think that's pretty much subsiding because the company has had enough with it. It seems like, right, especially with Karina. So there was news involving with Karina after an interview with Paperback Boy. For whatever reasons, I don't know why she even accepted the interview in the first place, because all it did was damage her reputation even more than what already has happened. There was a video pretty much like having her answer questions, and one of them included, hey, what's your current status with Paimon and stuff like that. And essentially, Karina stated that she is no longer voicing the character until Genshin becomes a union project. So it's kind of like this weird ultimatum, even though she has like no leverage at all. Hoyo has all the leverage. They have all the power in this situation. They are the ones holding that, I guess, contract or whatever. But essentially they can do what the fuck they want in comparison to her. She just sounds very entitled throughout this whole situation, including the interview. It's just so weird because especially having to see a number of like characters go silent and then they get their voices replaced with a new actor. So what makes one thing that Hoyo wouldn't treat her any different, right? So essentially she's going to get replaced, and for me at this point I am happy with this result, because again, like, her behavior has been very unprofessional, like invited like harassment on other people, and on top of that, like just for whatever reason she's been not white knighting SAG and then their cause, and it's so confusing just because why is she doing all this when she could have just like continued on and nothing would have been of consequence, but she just threw that all away for what? For SAG? But why? And that's I don't think that question has been ever answered, unless like for whatever reason like SAG has provided her for a lot of things. I don't know, but maybe the fact that they've offered her so much that she feels like she owes them or something. I don't know, but anywho, that's what she's been doing, even though the AI protection stuff is already built into the clauses of these like English recording studios, right? So it's so strange. It's so strange as to why a number of these actors, including Karina, have been white knighting for SAG, other than maybe just to really try to get Hoyo to come over, like, hey man, like join us, and then blah blah blah, whatever. But nah, that wasn't happening. Like, seems like to me like SAG has been strong arming / essentially racketeering like a number of games to be union projects, including of course Genshin. Genshin is like a huge one because Genshin makes a lot of money. So of course it would be natural for I guess at this point for SAG-AFTRA to go after that piece of the pie. They really wanted that piece of the pie, but it really, in the end, I think they caused so much damage. So much damage. When initially it seemed like SAG-AFTRA was looking out for their own people, but at this point I cannot help but feel that SAG-AFTRA is just after money. They just are after the money bag, especially with the situation going on with the Darth Vader AI stuff. Apparently they're filing a lawsuit with Epic Games, because apparently what they, or the company that implemented the AI had some ill practice or something like that, so they're trying to get a lawsuit going with that. But I just feel like, and again, I can't help to feel, because of the overall situation, that SAG-AFTRA is just after the money, because Epic Games is also another huge company that makes quite a bit of money, especially with Fortnite. And of course, the Darth Vader AI, which was approved by James Earl Jones's estate and or his family. I'm not too sure on that part, but I feel like SAG-AFTRA is just after the money bag, and that's really pretty much all seems to be like. So back to the Karina stuff, yes. So Karina essentially has stopped coming into the studio, just like a number of voice actors. So like that would mean, well, she is going to get replaced. If there was a voice actor that deserved to be replaced, it's her. I mean, Karina has been very unhinged. Like again, like her behavior is just not it. It wasn't it, and I'm glad that that's seemingly the outcome at this point. But I'm holding parts of my breath until we actually get to see an announcement of the replacement for Paimon's voice. But hopefully when that goes public, Karina does not, whips her community to, like go after this person. But I wouldn't be surprised. It's just sad that this has been happening. And I feel like the people, some of the people who did not come in for the strike, are people who know how to behave and such like that, and they are good Samaritans within that, but they felt like they had to fight for the cause because of what SAG initiated pretty much, and when really SAG is just after the money, if again what it feels like. So they lost their roles. It's just kind of ironic because like they're fighting to not get replaced by AI, but they just got replaced by other people because they chose to not come in. But hey, I mean, I asked for this sort of outcome when it comes to Paimon specifically. Again, I feel like she deserved to be replaced. A lot of people have been asking for her for a long time. This is nothing new, but if it's finally happening, it seems like. So I think we can rejoice. And this is a kind of a W, right? We take those. We take whatever we can. But like, I just want to see things work out, really. But of course, if you're gonna act like a piece of shit, then you are a piece of shit. That's just really how simple it works, right? Like seriously, why would you be so unwelcoming to someone like Takanashi? If you're gonna be mad at somebody, then why not be mad at Hoyo then? Oh, but because they are the ones who gave you that role, huh? Right? How funny is that? Where you're of course not being mad at Hoyo, because otherwise you lose your job potentially. But then now at this point you act like, oh yeah, I'm gonna not step into that studio anymore because such and such. Oh, because Jacob is Kanish. It's just so funny to me because of how that worked out. Oh yeah, let's not forget that when she made that video about oh yeah, YouTubers don't know anything, that video, and then she got called out that many times, she then started to claim that video was AI generated. The irony is just baffling. It's just mind-boggling. You're crying about wanting AI protection, but then you use the AI excuse as a way to protect yourself from further ruining your reputation. And the thing about that is that's going to follow her around, because Karina does voice a number of characters within the anime industry as well. And of course, a number of the audiences, right, especially for the Western side, do watch anime. So wherever Karina goes, they're just gonna bring this up and probably harass her for all this stuff. Though, again, to be fair, she kind of invited that sort of environment anyway onto others. So reap what you sow, right? As the saying goes. So essentially, I think she's going to be cooked at one point. You know, this reminds me of a very similar situation, and my friend did bring this up as well, regarding to the Helena Taylor situation, where she kind of like essentially manipulated the truth, which is essentially lying at this point. You know, telling a half truth, right? And she had to give up her role as Bayonetta, right? For those who recognize that situation. Man, it was tough because you know, Helena Taylor seemingly was like a very respectable person until that whole thing happened. So it's very possible, very much possible, that Karina is also lying to our faces when she already has been doing that from the get-go of this situation, including how, oh well, YouTubers don't know, blah blah blah. All that video was essentially like cooked. This damage is going to be very, very deep. Who knows how long this will last? Who knows how long like people will remember this? But it's sad. Like how do you make people go from supporting you to absolutely just tearing you apart potentially? But I mean, well, they probably are, but whatever. It's horrible. It's just horrible. Well, anyways, that's all I got to say for this situation. What do you guys think? It's just sad, I think. But what do you guys think when it comes to especially Paimon's voice? Who should replace her? Who will be an interesting replacement? I've heard people say like Echo's voice should be Paimon's voice or whatever. Echo's voice actress. A number of characters from Wuthering Waves. I've been noticing that, yeah, like people in Europe have been chosen for a number of these roles. Well, not only for Wuthering Waves, but for Hoyo as well, for at least Genshin anyway. I'd like to hear your guys' suggestions or sort of hopes, right, in the comment section below for Paimon's voice. And also, now that Paimon's voice is going to be replaced, I mean, people have said, hey, if Paimon's voice gets replaced, I'll play the game, or I'll play the game again, or those sort of claims are now that seems to be, you know, because that's a reality. Well, are they actually going to stick to their word, right? Stick to their guns? We'll see about that. But now that, you know, Paimon is going to be changed in the voice department, are you guys feeling any different? Are you going to play the game in English or actually play the game again, or whatever it is, right? Anything changed there for you guys? I'd like to see those in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Really helps out, and I do appreciate it. So this has been the Hawke Talks on, well, what is hopefully the last time we kind of talk about, well, okay, not really, maybe, but the last time we'll talk about this part of the SAG-AFTRA situation with Hoyo and whatever. But I guarantee you, whenever the replacement gets announced, there might be some rekindling with the fire. But we'll have to wait and see. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Sean out.